Fatal Strike Productions presents A Craftsman's Journey. Produced and narrated by Nathan Boston. Written by Holden Mars. And illustrated by Sneck. They waded through the tunnels that led to the secret exit of the city of Dragon Rock. They treaded as quietly as they could, because the city had been on lockdown since the earthquake. Marcus and several other craftsmen had been robbed of their lacquered writs by a group of thugs, telling them that to get it back, they'd need to retrieve some money they'd hidden outside of the city. He refused at first. He had to. It took 10 years and over 1,000 silver pieces just to attain that first one. It allowed him to conduct business as a craftsman. He made and sold small pieces of furniture to minor noblemen, which finally provided his family with a decent living. But after a nasty beating and threats to his family, he finally gave it up. So here he was. He knew the others, not by name, but by profession. The only man he knew in more than passing was the blacksmith, Theus. When they all arrived at the exit of the tunnels, Theus passed out some daggers to everyone. Theus himself had a short sword and a bow. They left the tunnels and ventured into the woods. They all wanted to get their writs back as quickly as possible, and many of them rushed forward on their own to go find the money. Marcus, however, had overheard a few guards talking about strange creatures in the forest and dead bodies around the city walls, so he decided to stick close to Theus. They didn't speak as they searched the area the thugs had indicated. After some time, they began to grow worried. The money wasn't where it was supposed to be. A blood-curdling scream came from up ahead. They stopped in their tracks, all of them afraid to move. Not Theus, though. He ran towards the scream. Marcus and the others snapped out of it and followed close behind. What they found was a bloody mess. One of the craftsmen had been sliced open from shoulder to hip. But there was nobody around. No clue as to who had done it. Before anyone could say anything, a large, brutish figure came from above. The man screamed as his arm was severed from his body, and then his scream was severed just as fast as his head was lobbed off. The remaining men stared in terror at the beast. It stood some 6 or 7 feet tall and was muscular beyond anything they had seen. Its skin was waxy green in color, and its face was hideous, looking like it had been arranged with leftover pieces of animal parts. Its beady black eyes betrayed no emotions. "Stabra!" it said, its voice deep and coarse. It swung its weapon, a crude but efficient-looking battle axe, and charged the nearest man. He raised his dagger to defend himself, but was struck down with ease. Theus shouted and raised his sword, attempting to swing it down and strike the beast, but it was too quick. It avoided his attack and cut Theus's stomach open in the process. He fell to the ground, clutching his guts, trying desperately to keep them within his body. And at this point, Marcus was the only one left. The beast turned his attention to the Logmore, it shouted before rushing forward with its axe held high. It prepared to cleave through Marcus the way it had the others. Marcus closed his eyes and waited for death. But it never came. Instead, he heard grunting and a thud. When he opened his eyes, he saw the beast on one knee, bent over and breathing heavily. Da Uga Snack! With that, it fell face first onto the ground. A single arrow protruded from its back. The shaft sunk halfway into its torso where its heart should be. Marcus looked over to Theus and saw him taking his last breath before dropping his bow and collapsing. He couldn't believe it. He was alive. With trepidation, he approached the creature. He reached down and took its axe from its limp hands and removed a satchel that was strapped to it. Inside the worn and rugged-looking satchel, he found some gold coins and some sort of glowing red crystal. He reached into the bag and tried to grab it, but it crumbled in his hands. A jolt of adrenaline shot through his body. He wasn't sure what it was, but he had never felt more alive. He pulled the satchel off the dead creature. Hopefully the gold inside would be enough to get his writ back. So, With haste, he departed the bloody scene. He spared one look back at the fallen, out of respect. He sprinted long and hard, but did not seem to tire. What was that crystal? It wasn't long before he made it back home. There were men waiting for him. "So," said the leader, "did you find it?" Marcus simply pushed through the thugs and unlocked the door.
Hey!
The spindly little man shouted.
I'm talking to you!
Marcus opened his door and went inside, throwing the satchel of gold on the ground behind him. "There's your money," he said in a voice deeper than his own. "Just give me my writ back and leave me be." The thugs balked at his brazen disrespect. They turned to their leader for guidance.
Maybe we should teach you some respect.
Marcus stopped in the middle of the room.
In fact, maybe we should teach his wife and daughter some respect while we're at it.
The vile man said with a smirk. He motioned for the thugs to go upstairs. Marcus tightened the grip on the beast's axe. These disgusting lowlives were threatening his family again, after doing everything they had told him to do. Marcus didn't hesitate. With the strength of an ox and a mighty yell, he swung the beast's axe and cut through the closest man's throat with ease. His head lolled back on his barely attached spine as he fell to the floor. Blood flowed from his almost severed neck, so much as to create pools on the ground. The thugs froze. They'd never seen something like that happen before, but Marcus was not frozen. Marcus was aflame with fury. As he advanced towards the stairs where the thugs stood petrified, he couldn't understand what he had been so afraid of in the first place. Hey, what's up everybody? That was a Craftsman's Journey. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe. The next video I got coming out is the top 5 fiction audiobooks that I personally like. So look forward to that, and I'll catch you guys and gals later. Peace.